Hey everybody, Hakaius here, and today I want to show you how to get the Brave Challengers trophy for Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. Now, this trophy, to complete it, you do have to complete all 7 Link Portal bonus objectives, which a Link Portal can be either a Battle Portal or a Special Portal, and this one is not one you really need to focus on and try to earn like right away. You can just kind of do this organically as you're playing through the game, or as you're working on your Champions trophies after you've completed the game, which require you to complete all the Special Portals on the various worlds. I'll put links in the description below to the time signatures for each of the various trophies in case there's just one or two you're having problems with, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so the first portal objective we're going to look at requires you to pull off at least 3 flow motion attacks. You can do more than that if you want, and you can. But the easiest way to do this is just to probably dodge roll or air slide into a wall and immediately perform a flow motion attack. The only thing that's likely to give you any trouble here is if you've leveled up a lot, say in the post game, and then you go back to one of the early worlds, the enemies might die too quickly. So in that case, just go ahead and go to somewhere like the world that never was and find a battle portal or a special portal there, and you should be able to do it just fine. We're going to use a similar strategy for the second portal as we used on the first one. This one requires you to complete the portal without using any triangle commands. So the easiest way to do this is to probably just use flow motion attacks. Those don't count as triangle commands. Another couple things to just keep in mind is that you want to go ahead and heal up before you start the portal, because nothing sucks more than dying to a portal because you refuse to heal because you don't want to lose the bonus challenge. And the other thing is that link commands with your allies, whether Riku or Sora, do not count as triangle commands. So if you're having trouble killing it, just go ahead and link up with your Dream Eater buddies and wipe out those enemies. The third portal we're going to take a look at requires you to kill all the enemies within 20 seconds. This one I think is pretty easy. What you want to do is you want to use Zero Gravisa or Zero Graviga if you don't have Zero Gravisa, and then use Thundara, Thundaga, and any balloon spells you have, and usually that'll kill all the enemies around you really quickly. Once again, we're going to use a very similar strategy for the next portal. This one requires you to take damage 2 or fewer times from your enemies. So once again, just use Zero Gravisa, Zero Graviga, and then blow them up with your thunder spells and your balloon spells, and they won't even be able to hit you because they're too busy floating and dying. The fifth portal we're going to take a look at requires you to block 3 or more attacks. This one's probably easier on Riku because he's got Dark Barrier, but you absolutely can do it on Sora. Just a couple notes. If you do it on Riku, don't use Dark Slide. Don't have that equipped because it'll make you jump around while you're trying to block attacks. And if you're going to do it on Sora, don't use Sliding Block because that makes you actually move forward, and you can actually accidentally interrupt an attack by bumping an enemy up into the air right before they were going to attack you. So the general strategy for this, regardless of who you're playing, is to go find a corner, stand in it, don't lock onto an enemy because then you'll face them to the exclusion of all the others, and just kind of spam your block button until you've been hit 3 times, until you've successfully blocked 3 times. The penultimate portal challenge requires you to successfully counter 3 attacks. You're going to do the exact same thing that you just did for the blocking. You're going to find a corner, you're going to spam block, and then you're going to press counterattack whenever it comes up. The same caveats apply as before. You don't want to use Dark Slide, you don't want to use Sliding Block. It's probably easier on Riku. The other thing that you want to note is that if you are hit and you're knocked up in the air, if you have Payback Raid or you have Payback Blast, you can use that, and that counts as a successful counterattack. So you'll want to keep that in mind as you perform this challenge. If you're having trouble with dying, as you'll see on this video, I went ahead and killed a whole bunch of enemies before I actually started trying to block, so you'll want to just thin the herd out a little bit so there's fewer enemies attacking you so that you're less likely to take unintentional damage. And of course, if that still doesn't work, you can just skip the challenge for this portal and come back to it on an easier one. And for our final portal, the objective is to complete 10 attacks while linked with a Dream Eater ally. You can do this on Riku or Sora. If you do it on Riku, it's fairly straightforward. You just link with one of your allies, and then you go ahead and complete 10 attacks. If you want to do it on Sora, it's a little bit more complicated. You want to make sure to pick an ally who does a lot of attacks very quickly. For example, don't pick one of the flower allies. As you can see, I chose Yagiram because Whirling Bronco does a lot of attacks per button press, so that's a great one to use on Sora. One thing to also keep in mind is that if your link gauges are not charged when you come across one of these, you can go ahead and start it and kill a couple of the enemies to try and build up your link gauge, then cancel out of it and restart as necessary until you've got a link gauge charged and you're ready to actually do the challenge. Alright, so that's all I have for you today. That's how you're going to get your Brave Challengers trophy. If you're looking for locations for the Champions trophies, I'll go ahead and put a link in the description below to the guide that I use to help me earn those trophies. If you found this video helpful, follow the links to see what other trophies I can help you earn. If I don't have the video you need yet, go ahead and leave me a comment telling me what I'm missing, then hit subscribe so you'll know when it's released. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.